Your child sees you paying bills and asks, "Why can't we just spend that money on something fun?" What do you say? Most parents either brush past the question or launch into a lecture. But that moment, that small, curious question, is actually the perfect opening to teach one of the most important money skills they will ever learn. Today, we're going to talk about fixed and flexible spending, not as a boring accounting lesson, but as a hands-on game your child can do at the kitchen table. By the end of this video, you will have a simple activity ready to go, plus the exact words to say for different ages. Here is the big idea. Every family has two kinds of costs. Some costs are locked in. They must be paid every single month, and the amount almost never changes. Things like rent, a mortgage, or school fees. You cannot skip them. You cannot shrink them by choosing differently this week. They just have to be covered. Then there's everything else. Costs that go up or down depending on the choices you make. Snacks, entertainment, clothes beyond the basics, dining out, games. These are flexible. They're not fixed in stone. A family can spend more or less depending on what they decide. And this is the pile where real choice and real budgeting skill actually lives. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau defines it clearly. Fixed expenses generally stay the same each month, while variable expenses change based on usage or choice. And the OECD, one of the world's leading bodies on education, identifies understanding this difference as a core financial competency for children and young people. This is not just a useful habit. It is foundational. Here is something encouraging. Research published in the Journal of Behavioral Decision Making found that children as young as 5 already have meaningful opinions about spending and saving. Your child is not too young for this. They are already thinking about money. The question is whether you are giving them the right framework to think with. And according to Vygotsky's and Bandura's research on how children learn, parents are the single most powerful channel. Children pick up financial behaviors by watching you, by doing things alongside you, and by hearing your thinking out loud. One honest conversation, repeated often, does more than any single formal lesson ever could. So let us build that conversation. Here is the activity. You need nothing fancy. Index cards or small pieces of paper, a pen, and a flat surface. Write one spending category on each card. Keep it simple. Things like home, food, a treat, a film, school supplies, a game, transport. Then split the table into 2 sides. One side fixed, one side flexible. Now here is the one question that does all the work. Could we spend less on this if we wanted to? If the answer is no, it is fixed. If the answer is yes, it is flexible. That is it. That one question turns an abstract idea into a real, touchable decision. For children aged 4 to 6, keep it visual and playful. Draw or print pictures instead of writing words. A little house, a bowl of food, a sweet, a cinema ticket. Let them physically move the pictures into 2 boxes, one labeled always the same and one labeled can change. They do not need the vocabulary yet. The sorting is the learning. For children aged 7 to 11, you can go deeper. Piaget's research on child development tells us this is exactly the age when children develop the ability to classify and group things logically, to apply rules to real, concrete situations. The index card sort is perfectly matched to how their brains are actually working right now. After sorting, ask, which pile is bigger? Then, which pile can our family actually change? For children aged 12 and older, take it one step further. Ask them to look at the flexible pile and find one category they personally influence. Maybe it is snacks, or games, or weekend outings. Then ask, if we spend just a little less there each week, what might that add up to in a month? You're not giving them an answer. You're teaching them to ask the question. That is abstract thinking, and research shows children this age are ready for it. Here is the insight you want every child to walk away with at every age. The fixed pile tells you the minimum you must always have. That money is already spoken for before the month even starts. The flexible pile is where you actually have power. That is where choices live. That is where habits are built or broken. A quick note on using your own family's real numbers. You do not have to. The activity works just as well with made-up or simplified examples. If talking about your actual rent or fees feels uncomfortable, invent a simple pretend family. The sorting skill transfers just the same. What matters is the thinking, not the specific figures. The OECD has formally recommended that financial education start as early as possible, citing both knowledge and behavioral benefits. And research in Frontiers in Education confirms that structured, Engaging activities build a stronger foundation than passive exposure alone. You sitting down with your child for 10 minutes tonight is not a small thing. It is genuinely how this learning happens. Tonight, try this. Grab 4 pieces of paper, write one spending category on each, and ask your child to sort them into 2 piles using the one question. Could we spend less on this if we wanted to? That is the whole lesson. 10 minutes, a kitchen table, and one good question. If this video helped you, subscribe to Little Money Habits. We put out a new practical idea every week.